Title? My grandson stole from me, so I gave him a taste of his own medicine. Let me introduce myself. I'm Hank, 72, retired carpenter and proud grandfather of 3. I've always been the kind of guy to work hard, keep to myself, and mind my own business. But if you mess with me, you better believe I'm not going to sit back and let it slide. The story I'm about to tell you is about my grandson, Tyler. He's 20, and for most of his life, he's been a good kid. Or so I thought. Turns out, sometimes the people closest to you are the ones who'll take advantage of your kindness. The first red flag. It all started a few months ago. I noticed that a couple of tools were missing from my workshop. Now, I've been collecting tools for over 50 years, some of them vintage, some handed down from my father. At first, I thought maybe I'd misplaced them. My memory isn't what it used to be, after all. Then one day, I noticed my old Craftsman drill was gone. That drill was older than Tyler and still worked like a dream. That's when I knew something was up. I casually mentioned the missing tools during Sunday dinner, glancing at Tyler. He just shrugged and said, "Maybe you left them at a job site, Grandpa." Except I hadn't been on a job site in over a year, catching him red-handed. I decided to keep a closer eye on things. I set up a small camera in the corner of my workshop, hidden behind a shelf of paint cans. A week later, I reviewed the footage, and there he was, Tyler, my own grandson, sneaking into my workshop while I was out grocery shopping, slipping tools into a backpack. I wasn't just angry, I was hurt. I've always been there for Tyler, helped him fix his first car, gave him money when he needed it, even let him borrow my truck when he moved out of his parents' house. But I didn't confront him right away. No, I had a better idea. Ash! Laying the trap. Tyler didn't know I'd caught him, so I decided to teach him a lesson he wouldn't forget. First, I went through my workshop and carefully catalogued everything I owned, taking photos and noting their approximate value. Then, I went to a pawn shop and bought a few cheap, broken tools that looked similar to my good ones. I swapped those out for the real ones, leaving the broken junk in their place. Next, I waited. Sure enough, the following week, Tyler came by for one of his visits. I watched from the kitchen as he slipped into the workshop. The sting. That night, I logged onto an online marketplace and found a listing for a vintage Craftsman drill and some other tools, ones that looked suspiciously like mine. The seller? None other than Tyler. Instead of getting mad, I decided to play along. I created a fake account and messaged him, pretending to be a buyer. I arranged to meet him in a parking lot the next day to purchase the tools. The confrontation. When Tyler showed up with my tools in his trunk, I walked up to him, holding a printout of the marketplace ad. "Well, Tyler," I said, "I see you've been busy." His face went pale. "Grandpa, I can explain." I cut him off. "Explain what? How you've been stealing from your own family? How you thought I wouldn't notice?" He stammered, trying to come up with excuses, but I wasn't having it. I told him he had 2 choices. 1, return everything he'd taken, including the money he made from selling my other tools. 2, I'd report him to the police for theft. The lesson, Tyler chose option 1, of course. Over the next few weeks, he worked to pay me back every penny. I made him sell off some of his own belongings to cover the difference, and I didn't let him off easy. But I wasn't done yet. To drive the point home, I invited Tyler over one weekend to help me with a project. He thought we were building a birdhouse or fixing a fence. Instead, I handed him a bucket of paint and a brush and told him he'd be repainting my entire fence by hand. "Consider this part of your punishment," I said, "and maybe think twice before you steal from someone who taught you everything you know about tools." The aftermath. Tyler finished the fence, paid me back and, to his credit, apologized sincerely. I told him I forgave him, but made it clear that trust had to be earned. The tools are now locked up tight, and Tyler hasn't dared to set foot in my workshop since. As for me, I've got my tools back, a freshly painted fence, and the satisfaction of knowing I taught my grandson a valuable lesson. Don't mess with Grandpa. Would you have let Tyler off the hook, or gone even further? Let me know in the comments.